Recently, I picked up a couple of new gadgets lately. This guy right here. I got a keyboard over here, right? And if you see in the back little spot right here, there's a new guy right here. All right. So these have been some of the things I've picked up over the summer, and I think these are great fall tech gadgets that you could probably pick up and utilize in your professional life, or even if you're a student. I think these are great situations where these items might come in handy. First off, featuring the Insta360 Go 3S. This little guy is so small, it fits inside my hand, all right? This thing could probably even fit into my jean pockets if I really wanted it to, all right? But I think it's small enough that fits in my normal everyday bag carry. So that's also an amazing part about this little guy already. So this thing shoots in 4K as well as my phone, right? But if you look at, for size comparison, clearly much smaller already. So what's really nice about this is I'm able to relive like memories. Obviously that's what cameras do. But what's great specifically is the little pill, right? This thing comes out and I can attach it to my kid, attach it to some various accessories, and basically have a point of view perspective of what my day was like during that time in the year. And then on top of that, this thing only weighs 39 grams. And then if you take that and attach it to this guy, this adds an additional 96 grams in weight. So all in all, it's pretty light and versatile. So when I picked this up, I bought the standard bundle. It comes with a bunch of various little accessories beyond the pill and the pocket. You get a couple things such as the 1/4-inch pivot stand that attaches as a magnet to the pod, a magnetic pendant that can be clipped to the clothes, and a POV hat cam that they call it an easy clip, I think. And there's a sticky mount too that's reusable, and you can get some pretty dynamic shots. With all of these, it provides unique angles and crazy shots in a small package, if you know what I'm saying. The Go 3S is rated for 30 minutes on battery, but the action pod is rated for an additional 90 minutes. If you're interested in more about this, I have a video on my channel. I'll drop a link in the description below, but check that out after the rest of this video. Next up, we have the Logitech G305. The gaming mouse is not new by any means, but the value cost of it alone is worth it since it's always on sale. The mouse originally came out in 2018, but I still use it to this day as I'm a casual gamer. Here's a handful of amazing features about this quote-unquote old device. It's got a lightweight design coming in at 99 grams. Granted, it's not as light as those super professional gaming mouses, but it gets the job done for me. Also, it's wireless too, because on the go, you don't want to deal with any additional wires and headaches, and just kind of plopping in that receiver and taking it out and plugging it into your computer, it's quite nifty too. For those of you who are gamers, Logitech has paired this with their Hero sensor, which features a 200 to 12,000 DPI, and it has a 1000 Hertz polling rate, which is probably why it's got a great battery. Speaking of which, I rarely change the battery to perhaps maybe once a month or even once every 2 months. Obviously, this will depend on your usage. Speaking of which, you can make this mouse even lighter by using a AAA battery in here and convert it with a AA converter. The most interesting use case is actually not for me with this mouse. It's actually for my wife. She prefers this mouse over the MX Master 3S, which everyone on YouTube loves, but hey, it's just another tool at the end of the day that gets the job done. So for those of you not wanting to spend a lot on a gaming mouse with a great sensor, wireless capabilities, and perhaps some productivity, this is the one to get despite it being a 5-year-old mouse when it first launched. Next up, we have this 40% keyboard. This is the Drop OKB Plank V7. So this is not the 7th iteration of this already, but comparatively speaking, this is a really, really small keyboard, as you can see already. Again, comparing it to the phone size, this is a compact 40% keyboard. It has 48 keys, RGB LEDs, and QMK capable. It comes in various colors of black, green, and red, which is an aluminum case or a frosted polycarbonate version, which is the one I picked up. When I first got this thing, it was really easy to build in, especially since this is the 7th version. So there are many build tutorials and guides out there already. I paired this with the generic acute keycaps plus U4T boba switches. Here's a little quick sound test of this. thing was a pain to type on when I first picked this up. Literally the first week, I kept this piece of paper around everywhere. This thing came with it, and every time I had to use the keyboard, I ended up referencing it. And even to this day, I still utilize that same keyboard printout. My main daily driver is the glorious GMMK Pro. That's a 75% keyboard layout. As you can see from a side-by-side comparison, it's missing a bunch of keys. So you may ask though, how do I get numbers or symbols on this guy? Imagine it's kind of like your phone keyboard where you click the 1, 2, 3 button or the symbol button. Except with this keyboard, you'll have to hold down the quote unquote raise or lower button here, and it gets you to a different layer of the keyboard. I picked this up originally because I read it could potentially be more ergonomic as I try to learn a little bit of Vim, but having the keys closer means my fingers don't have to travel as far too. It's an ortholinear layout, meaning the rows are vertically aligned, and then as opposed to the classic keyboard layout where the keys are staggered one off to each other up the chain. I'm not sure if that actually helps with the ergonomics as much, but there's various communities behind different ortho setups. It helps with changing the various key maps in terms of like what you can put under the keys or your layers. Because this keyboard is so small, lightweight, and portable, I usually bring this guy to the office with me all the time. I'm still getting used to this thing after a few months. I've been running the stock key map layout and haven't messed with it too much, but I do know you can get better ergonomics by changing the various things with QMK or VIA key mapping. But I don't know if it's actually better for me in terms of the typing habits that I get. Then there's Colmac, Dorvac, which is a whole nother rabbit hole, but we'll see if I go down that path. With all that said, I'm still not as proficient as typing on this compared to my main daily driver. Perhaps I'll need to rock this a little bit more before I call it quits and learning various different key maps. Now, I'm not an audiophile of any sort, but I do notice a subtle difference in speakers and headphones at least, but not on a granular level or scientifically at all. I was recently gifted the Sonos Move 2 from a friend, which is the successor to the original Move 1. Now, I don't have this to compare it to, so I'll speak about it more from my experience directly with this one only. And the only thing I can actually compare it to from like a loudspeaker perspective is my Google Home. I stream a variety of podcasts and music, and the sound quality consistently impresses me to this day. My little one loves to have dance parties in here with their light stick at times. Huh? Oh, not this one? Sorry. Okay, sorry. And then as you can see, sometimes even my parents likes to join in too. Sonos did a wonderful job with the design here, as it can blend in seamlessly with all of your furniture or stand out as a statement piece all on its own. As for interacting with the device though, the top has a capacitive touch controls, the back has nice tactile buttons for the power, Bluetooth, and a dedicated microphone switch to disable the hardware within it, so it's not always listening to you. Sonos did call this the Move, as there is a little lip in the back to act as a handle to conveniently carry it around. Taking it off the stand, it acts as a hub to charge the internal 44 watt-hour battery. The same amazing sound can go anywhere with you too, as it's rated for up to 24 hours playback, so this thing can be taken to the beach, park, and tailgate all within the same day. Also, don't worry about this device getting beat up outdoors. Since it is IP56 rated, it can take on a little bit of dust as well as some water on the outside. I'd highly recommend this one for anyone who loves a great sounding speaker that's also quote-unquote portable, coming in weighing at 3 kilograms, but it's not that compact. As you can see, it's almost the size of my backpack here. If you plan to be outdoors a lot and need a nice sounding speaker at home too, this is an easy pickup, and you can even pick this up at Costco. Alright, this last item is mostly geared towards my professionals or even students, and anyone basically that has a both laptop setup and a dedicated PC. This is the Anker 553 KVM Switch. It allows you to connect up a laptop via USB-C as well as a desktop via USB-C plus a HDMI or DisplayPort. So my use case is my MacBook M1 Pro or M3 for work and a custom PC because I like to potentially game and work afterwards. As for the outputs, it does support 2 screens up to 40K at 60 Hz according to Anker's website. However though, when I connect it to my AW3423DWF, both my MacBook gives me 100 Hz, but my PC gives me 144 Hz respectively. And I think that's pretty great if you ask me. As for the peripheral setup, the front has one USB 2.0, 2 USB 3.0s, and a USB-C 3.0. And the side has audio in and out. What's nice is I can utilize one keyboard, one mouse, and one headset to connect everything all up, and the switch of a button I can go from developer to gamer at night. A couple of drawbacks is though, it does take a bit of a second from switching input sources, so it's like honestly 6 seconds, so you could maybe go out and get some water or go use the bathroom break while it flips sources. However, the other larger issue that I haven't quite faced as often as my wife has in the past is there is a little bit of flickering when I do go to my MacBook to my PC. But unplugging or replugging the cable does alleviate that. I'll have to reach out to Anchor to see what they say if there's any follow-up to alleviate that issue. Besides that though, if you do have a multi-operating system workflow at home, or you utilize other people on your computer and one only uses Mac, the other person uses PC, I think this setup is great to utilize the single mouse and keyboard combo, as well as if you only have one peripheral headset too. Well, if you have any additional questions, don't hesitate to comment down below. And then if you enjoyed this one, you know what to do. Thumbs up, sub up down below. And if you're interested in these items again too, also the link is down below too. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.